Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? KMB the Sexy Ninja in the place to be for C Plus Studios and the Paper Saber universe. Welcome to the New World Podcast, brother. And we're going to be talking about NXT Spring Breakin. April 25th, 2023. Vic Joseph, Booker T on commentary. I'm trying so hard to really enjoy NXT to the level I want to enjoy this show. And I will be 100% honest. There's some things that I really like. There's some things I don't like. But honestly, getting through an NXT 2-hour show is more of a challenge than going through a Monday Night Raw 3-hour show. Yeah, that's, and I understand this is a developmental stage in this company and everything like that, and we're trying to tell these stories the best way possible, but it's just like there's just a lot of things that just fall really flat, but there is a lot of cool things that happen on this show, and I'm gonna be brutally honest now. People like it when I'm brutally honest, and I'm gonna be really honest. It was a chore to get through this show. But there was things I did like. When they start this show off, it's with this barbecue opening. I'm just like, and I don't know. I didn't like it. I was just like, okay, this is cheesy as fuck. I just like, and they're all talking about the matches tonight and this and that. And one thing too, I think where it really hurts a show with the theme like this, is the commercial breaks, because this is supposed to be the big, like, this is like our pay-per-view on regular cable TV and whatnot, and I just feel like the commercial breaks take away from that, especially with big matches for the NXT Championship and the Women's NXT Championship and stuff like that. It just takes away, and it's like, just follow us in picture-in-picture, but it's just like, that's cool. I guess, it happens all the time, but the reason I'm bitching is just because this is an event show. This is a theme show, and the barbecue opening just put a bad taste in my mouth. I was just like, ugh. But what didn't put a bad taste in my mouth was this match, this trunk match, with Pretty Deadly and the family, D'Angelo and Stax, the family for the win. And the point of the whole match is just shoving one of the teams in the trunk. There was some great spots. The match itself was okay. There was some pretty crazy spots though that was like, holy shit, moments, and I was like, okay, let's start this off strong. And I'm guessing because I thought after we saw this we were done with this. I was like, okay, cool. They drive off, Pretty Deadly's in the trunk. But no, this is an everlasting theme that actually ends the show and is the thread for some reason for the end of the show. And I'm wondering if this is a sign of Pretty Deadly going up to the main roster, and we have the WWE draft coming up here shortly, this Friday. So with this feud ending the way it did, I'm wondering if that's where Pretty Deadly's going to go now that they're sleeping with the fishes, if you want to. Tiffany backstage promo talking about how she's going to win the NXT Championship. Mr. Chase backstage, with Duke. Is that his name? Did I get his name right? But Duke cuts in, and Duke's trying to get him going. But this match with Braun Breaker, versus Andre Chase, Mr. Chase, Mr. Chase U, Braun won. And Braun's rocking all black. And I gotta say, his new little tagline now, I have it right here. So, meaner than evil. Meaner than evil. I don't know. Hurts my head. I don't know. I'm like, meaner than evil. Okay. He's all dressed in black. He's committing to that. He's got the white boots. I don't know. I already saw Braun Breaker winning this, and I was just like, okay, now what do we do with Braun Breaker? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with him. It's going to happen here in a couple matches from now. But I was like, okay, now this dude just needs to be moved up to the main roster. get that meaner than evil crap off of him. I just don't understand that tagline, and thought who in the back thought, yo, that sounds awesome. You're meaner than evil, huh? You're meaner than evil. Or can he be more evil than evil? You know, can he be the devil? You know, I don't know. I don't care. Carmelo package, you know, this was crazy. Dragunov was in the backstage, and he's walking in, and then he gets attacked. He gets murdered by Dijak. So I'm just like, ooh, okay, I want to see those two, because Dragunov, this dude is phenomenal. And I really like Dijak. I've been following Dijak for a long time, all the way back to the Ring of Honor days, and I'm glad that he finally got a gimmick that sort of fits his personality. You know, even though it's a Sin City type thing, I really do like what they're doing with Dijak, and they're building this feud between the two. Next match, we had Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyria. Cora Jade for the win. I saw a GCW, a game-changing wrestling shirt in the crowd, and I thought that was pretty cool. Cora Jade for the win, and this match was okay. Nothing too crazy, nothing too, you know, but I got the point across. Then we had the family. They're driving, and it was pretty funny that Pretty Deadly's in the back making noise and stuff like that. And they go back there like, oh yeah, D'Angelo's like, go shut him up, and they go shut him up. It's like, what was that noise? Nothing. Ha 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 ha. You know. And we're gonna see these guys again, and they're gonna end the show. And right here, the NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes with Trick Williams versus Grayson Waller. I was really looking forward to this match, and don't get me wrong, this match has some great spots in it. Grayson Waller, I feel like Grayson Waller got hurt towards the end, and the finish was real quick, real fast, and I was like, okay, well, you know, Carmelo Hayes for the win. I called that too. I was like, there's no way they're gonna get Grayson Waller, and I feel like Grayson Waller should just move up to the main roster already anyway. And remember what I said last week? I don't want to see Carmelo Hayes against Grayson Waller anymore. I don't want to see him against Braun Breaker anymore. I don't want any of that. I want Carmelo Hayes, and give some more opportunities to other guys that can go for that championship. You know, who else? You know, Dragunov, a Dijak, somebody. But guess what? Carmelo Hayes calls out Braun Breaker for Battleground May 28th, and I just was, as soon as he went out there, as soon as he grabbed the mic, he's like, Braun, yeah, you may not want this, but I want this. And I'm like, I don't want this. I was like, no, I don't want to see Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker again. I want Braun Breaker to go away. You know, I want Carmelo to take on new, you know, like a Wes Lee, you know, a Drew Gulak, for fuck's sakes, you know, something, Lord, something, you know, because I'm just sitting here and I'm like, ah. And then Braun Breaker comes out, and he's so meaner than evil. He spears Carmelo Hayes' body through this the wall stage or whatever, and that was pretty cool, because there was this little girl that was sitting there, and you could tell she's having fun. So, you know, that's what this is all about sometimes, you know, that I have to take off my glasses of being a critic sometimes. But seeing her face, and seeing when Braun Breaker just spear Carmelo through that wall, you know, and her face was like, oh shit, you know. that was awesome right there. But so Carmelo Hayes is hurt at the moment. Trick Williams was beaten with a chair by Grayson Waller, and like I said, this match was really fun, but I feel like Grayson got hurt in the end, and then it just kind of just fell flat. Then Carmelo Hayes got the win, calls out Braun, gets speared through. Now we're gonna have these two at Battleground, so we shall see. Unless this is the final opportunity for Braun, then we can move him up on the roster the next night, you know, because Night of Champions is that same weekend as well. AEW's Double or Nothing, so Memorial Day weekend. Is that what that is? So big weekend for professional wrestling. So we're going to get Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes at Battleground. Brooke Jensen, Kiana James versus Josh Briggs and Fallon Henley. Don't give a shit. Brooks Jensen, I don't care for the storyline. The only big thing that came out of this is Brooks and Josh making up, you know, hug it out, whatever. Don't care. Moving on. Dragon Lee backstage promo, talking about you know, Noam Dar, and I'm very excited to see these two mix it up in the ring. So then we had Scripps challenging Axamom. Yeah, Axamom. Am I saying that right? Am I saying that right? Axum or Axum? Fuck, man. I'm sorry. But this was just weird. It just came out of nowhere. It was just like Scripps was like, on this like thing, like he's Batman. And he's like, oh, we'll see. What's weird about this little weird video promo thing was he starts off with like in a deep voice, like you can't recognize my voice because there's devil. Then it goes to his regular voice saying, next week, me and you. And I'm like, well, why don't you just talk like that the whole time? I don't know. I'm being a picky bitch tonight, man. I am. Like, this show was just not clicking with me. Everything was just kind of like, this is dumb. This is dumb. This is dumb. But they had some really cool packages for Roxanne Perez. They did an Indy Hartwell one. And, yeah, so then they had some weird NXT Anonymous. I want to follow this NXT Anonymous on Twitter, just to be honest. They had Oba Femi debut against Oro Mensa. Oba for the win. Not really. Didn't really care. Wasn't really that impressive. It was an okay match. It just wasn't anything. I was like, oh. But Gigi though gets on commentary and she's not on commentary, but she takes the headset and she calls out JC James, so they're going to fight each other next week on NXT, and Gigi is pissed. She's like, I'm going to stomp your face in. I'm going to have my little brother here in the crowd just to see me do that. So JC James, you're going to get your ass kicked. Charlie and Gulak in the back talking about them attacking Wes Lee, and Drew Gulak is challenging Wes Lee next week for the North American Championship, so that should be fun. I love me some goulash, some Drew Gulak goulash. Yeah, so then Wes Lee's backstage. It was funny about this. I was getting really upset because I watched this on a DVR for Sling. And I was like, okay, so I paused real quick because I was like, the NXT Women's Championship match. Here we go, baby. This is what I'm really here for, is this main event right here next to the NXT Championship. I was like, I want to see these ladies tear down the house. And I paused it, and there was like 4 minutes left of like the 2-hour mark. I was like, oh, fuck, are you kidding me? But they let them go over time, about almost 15 minutes over the time. So I was like, oh, okay, because I was getting really, really, really upset. I was just like, I was getting really upset because I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm going to get 4 minutes of a triple threat match? I became a little pissy bitch for a second because I was like, fuck this. And I'm like walking around, stomping around, then I'm grabbing my dumbbell and I start like, oh, this is stupid. I wanted to see this. But no, they went overtime. So I was like, calm down, big head boy. God damn it. But this match had some really cool things going on until Indy Hartwell got hurt. So what does that mean? How bad is her injury that she received in this match? Because Tiffany went off that top rope, and as soon as she landed on Roxanne and Indy like folded, and her leg looked like it just went, and I was like, oh, fuck. And so that took her out of the match. Like I said, this was a really, really, really fun match. And then Indy got hurt. Then Indy tried in the end when she came back to, so she can retain the title for the night. And I was just like, damn, the way Tiffany fell on and how Indy just like collapse, it just, oh god, I was just like, damn, I hope this is not a severe injury to the point to where she has to relinquish that title. She just got that championship, and I don't know, we shall see next week. But Indy Hartwell, hope there's a speedy recovery and it really ain't that bad. But this match was fun. There was one spot, I don't know what Roxanne was doing, but she was crawling she was holding both of them, both their arms. Then she was gonna go up on the rope and and she was gonna jump, but it just all collapsed and they all just kind of just really just fell down. Yeah, so there was just a lot of things tonight, especially like with the NXT Championship. Like I feel like Grayson Waller got hurt and then it just kind of ended. And then with this one, it was like, oh shit, Indy Hartwell got hurt. Fuck, And then we end it with Pretty Deadly sleeping with the fishes. The family, they drove the car out to the lake and dumping their bodies in the water, and that's it. That's all. What's next for the family? Tag team gold. Gallus is the tag team champions. So now we're going to build that story. We're probably going to get that at Battleground. We have here coming soon next month. But overall, I honestly, I could give this show a solid like 3. out of 5, maybe. I'm being nice. There was just so, like I said, nothing was really clicking for me in this show. And I was watching, there was some spots I was like, oh, you know. So I'm in this for the long haul. I did this to myself. I signed up to be part of this NXT, this whole new wave of NXT, and for reviewing it every week for you guys. What did you think of the show? That's what really matters. What did you think? Drop those comments below, because honestly, I thought the show was shit. Just, there was great stuff, but it was just shit, in my opinion. So 3 out of 5, being nice as best as possible. So just drop those comments below. What did you like? What you didn't like? Do you think that Grayson got hurt? Did you? How bad do you think Indy Hartwell's injury really is? Is it a work? You know, what did you think of Pretty Deadly going into the water? You know, and that's the end of NXT. That's how you end the show for the Spring Breakin. So just drop those comments below. After that, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share it with your grandma, share it with your grandpa, share it with the bum down at Walmart. Get yourself some sweet New World Podcast merch from our TeePublic store. Get that sweet Sexy Ninja mascot created by Katie. And anything and everything helps keep the lights on here at C Plus Studios. So just hit those comments, hit those likes, and share, people. Share, ladies and gentlemen. And after that, I am KM the Sexy Ninja, and as always, the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Wait a minute, Book.